I completely missed the Bilt hype train. While everyone else was making videos, obsessing over rent day, talking all about the new trio of Bilt cards, I was over here basically ignoring Bilt altogether. And honestly, I didn't think it was for me. I don't rent, I own a home, but more on this shortly. And I already have the American Express Platinum, the American Express Gold, the Ritz-Carlton, the Capital One Venture X, and the Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business. So yeah, I was loaded on premium cards and thought that I was good. It really seemed like Bilt was for people earlier in their journey, not for someone like me deep in the premium game. And then Bilt 2.0 happened. They completely overhauled their card lineup, they killed the old Wells Fargo product, and they launched 3 brand new cards: the Blue, Obsidian, and Palladium. And now for the first time, I'm paying serious attention. I'm actually considering doing something that I really didn't think that I would do, at least not yet. That being a downgrade of my Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business once the renewal hits. That is a $795 annual fee card, and potentially replacing it with the Bilt Palladium. And I think a lot of you probably do run a similar analysis, or you should, because after double clicking and looking at the numbers, this decision is a lot closer than I expected. So let's get to it. Now, before we get into Bilt, which we will here momentarily, let's quickly recap the Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business, since that's the card that's on the chopping block here. And a lot of this is similar to the personal version, which launched with a massive $795 annual fee. Chase says there's over $2,500 worth of annual value packed into it, and honestly, they're probably right if you actually use everything on the card, and if you don't have a half dozen premium tier cards alongside it, like I do. Those credits include a $300 automatic travel credit, which is the best travel credit in the game, $500 in Edit hotel collection credits, another $250 hotel credit, Google Workspace, ZipRecruiter, DoorDash, Lyft, Sapphire Lounges, Priority Pass, Maple Leaf Lounges, excellent travel protections, and some really solid earning rates as well. 8x in the Chase Travel Portal, 4x direct with the airlines and hotels, 3x on social media and advertising. Now, I really like the overall power and the protections with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Same for the business and the personal version with those protections. The slightly elevated redemption possibilities in the Chase Travel Portal, even though it does seem to change daily. It's a really good card overall. In fact, I need to shift gears, or I may talk myself into keeping it. Okay, so here's my dilemma. I don't hire employees. I don't need Google Workspace. I almost never remember to use the DoorDash monthly credits, $5 credit here, a couple of $10 credits there. The Edit collection credits, they're not that difficult to use, but you're almost certainly coming out of pocket for that one. And when trying to pair it with the Chase Select Hotels travel credit, it just takes the perfect recipe, even though I think I found it with an upcoming trip to Europe. But more on that in another video. As for the lounge access, between the Ritz, the Venture X, the American Express Platinum, I've got plenty of lounge access already with a good bit of overlap. So suddenly I'm paying $800 a year for benefits I have a tough time valuing. I think a lot of us in this hobby eventually hit a similar wall. We wake up on the last day of the month thinking, did I use my Uber credit? Did I order DoorDash? Do I still have an airline incidental credit that I need to use? At some point, you're not maximizing travel anymore, you're just managing subscriptions. Then Bilt announced the Palladium. And the more I looked at it, the more I thought, hold up, this might actually fit my wallet better. $495 annual fee, $300 less than the Sapphire Reserve right out of the gate. And look, I'm not solely concerned about the annual fee. It's the overall value, the earning multipliers, the welcome bonus, the transfer partners, and the ease of the credits that I'm looking at here and how it fits into my setup. So let's check out the benefit breakdown. First, $400 annual Bilt travel hotel credit, split into two $200 semi-annual credits for hotel bookings through the Bilt Travel Portal. And these do require a minimum 2-night stay. Now, the Bilt Hotel Collection can be a lot less expensive than, say, the Edit Collection from Chase or Amex's FHR, but I like those upscale hotels, so I'll have to weigh this one and see what that collection looks like. Next up, $200 in annual Bilt cash awarded every calendar year, and up to 100 of that rolls over into the next year. For the lounge access, another Priority Pass membership, touted as over 1,400 lounges worldwide, up to 2 complimentary guests per visit. So similar to the Sapphire Reserve's guest policies, this is valued at $469 a year. Not sure about that. As for the earning rates, 2x Bilt points on all purchases. Now, to me, that's the sauce with this card, especially when you pair it with Bilt Cash. Also, up to 5x at Bilt partner restaurants, up to 4x on hotels and airlines booked in the Bilt portal. So nothing spectacular there, but up to 1.25x on rent and mortgage payments with no transaction fees. In the current welcome offer, 50,000 Bilt points, plus Bilt Gold Elite status, plus $300 in Bilt Cash after spending $4K in the first 90 days. All of that in combination, that's a slam dunk in my opinion. And there's a few others like price drop protection, cell phone protection, and no foreign transaction fees with this card as well. And with that gold status, you get a 1-to-1 transfer from Rakuten to Bilt. And this is a huge benefit in my opinion. Rakuten is one of the leading shopping portals, and it launches you out to thousands of stores, and you can elect to earn cashback, American Express points, or Bilt points. And with the Bilt status this card grants you, that's a 1-to-1 transfer. So you could earn potentially tens of thousands of Bilt points this way. Heck, you can earn 5,000 points on one Rakuten referral, just saying. Now, I know I can use that, plus the two $200 hotel credits, but I would probably have to trim the setup just a bit, especially since you can pair it with Bilt Cash and make it $300 for each of the hotel credits. Now we're talking American Express Platinum level credits. As for Priority Pass, as I mentioned before, it will get no value, but having a 2x everywhere card paired with Bilt Cash, which means you'd earn 4% Bilt Cash on all spending, then you can use your Bilt Cash to apply towards different rewards, like an extra 1x earnings boost, so you'd earn 3x instead of 2x on up to 5,000 in spend, and you can do this 5 times per year. So you can earn 3x on up to 25K in spend per year. That would overtake my Capital One Venture X and my Citi Double Cash and become my primary catch-all card. And if I don't want to earn Bilt Cash and go with the earnings boost, the feature that also got my attention, mortgage rewards. For years, the biggest bill that most of us pay every single month earned absolutely nothing. Now, there was a brief period where Mesa stepped in here, but we all know how that ended. Now with Bilt, and specifically with the Palladium here, that's changed. And hopefully with more success and longevity than Mesa. Now there are some things to be aware of with the Bilt Cash to maximize your earning potential, since you would need to spend 75% of your housing payment in non-housing spend on the Bilt card to get 1x points on your housing payment. Or if you spend 100% of your mortgage payment in non-housing spend, you'll earn up to 1.25x. But if you're already putting everyday spend on the card, if you don't have a super steep mortgage, earning 2x everywhere, suddenly your mortgage can start earning quite a few points too. That's a category that no Chase or American Express card can touch. Now to really put the icing on this, here's what Bilt completely won me over with. Hyatt, Atmos, Air Canada, United, Air France, JAL, those are the transfer partners I actually care about. Hyatt alone makes this card interesting, especially with some of the earning possibilities here with Bilt. Now you guys know how much value my family gets from Hyatt stays, the Hyatt Ziva Cap Cana, the Hyatt Regency Aruba. Those redemptions this year alone have saved us thousands of dollars, not to mention they're amazing properties and have delivered amazing experiences. Now, Chase used to have Hyatt almost to itself, but Chase is over there doing some weird things, lowering the transfer ratio unless you have the personal or the business Sapphire Reserve. So I'd have to think through transferring my Chase points out to Hyatt before downgrading. But then with some of the possibilities with Bilt and Rakuten, you can just earn so many more Bilt points. So now Bilt gives me another way to generate Hyatt points or Japan Airlines or Atmos, and all those at a 1-to-1 ratio. Honestly, it's all but a done deal that I'll be adding the Bilt Palladium, and unless something changes, I'm leaning toward downgrading my Sapphire Reserve for business, potentially even my Venture X, not because they're bad cards, they're good cards. It's just no longer the best fit for my wallet. I'd rather simplify my premium card setup just a bit and earn 2x plus on everything, keep Hyatt transfers at a 1-to-1 ratio, and finally start earning rewards on the biggest expense that I have every single month. Personally, that's a trade-off that I'm happy to make. But what about you? Do you have a Bilt card? Or do you have the Sapphire Reserve? Have you run a similar comparison? Or do you think I'm crazy for considering and comparing downgrading the Sapphire Reserve and adding a card like the Bilt Palladium? I want to hear from you. And if you want to see my full American Express Platinum breakdown, I'll link that video right here, or check out this playlist, and I'll see you there. Cheers.